lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing something exciting. I am going to be showing you guys how you can make a basic ring. So this is nothing fancy, this is just so that you guys can get the handle of what making a ring is like. And then after you learn this step, then you can become creative and you can do certain things or do fun things. So like when I started making rings, this was the first step that I learned to make rings, and then you just start to get creative. You just, you play around with it. So what you're going to need are some beads. For this step, it's easier to just have, let me show you guys. It's easier if you just have like 3mm beads. Mm is like the size of the bead, so you have like 3mm, 6mm. Let me show you an example. So this small bead would be like 4mm, and then this bead would be like 6mm. So I like to use 6mm size beads for these kinds of rings just because it's a lot easier, and I prefer using a round bead. Round beads are a lot easier to use when you're just learning to make your first ring. So get your 6mm bead, and then what you're going to need are some flush cutting pliers. This is so that you can cut the wire. Before I started to learn how to make jewelry, I used to use scissors to cut wire. Not the best thing. You can really get hurt, or it just can't cut. Like, the scissors are not going to cut a thick piece of wire. It could cut through like a 26 gauge wire. Just buy flush cutting pliers because it's a lot safer and a lot easier to use. You're also going to need some bent chain nose pliers. I like to use this just to press down on the wire at the end, just to make it secure and just to tighten up the coils around the band of the ring. These are round nose pliers. So round nose pliers is what I use when I want to make circles with wires, or if I want to grab the end of the wire and start making swirls, or I like to use this to make tight coils around a band. You don't really need this for this first step, but if you want to use it, you can. But these are the two things that you would need. You need flush cutting pliers and then a bent chain nose plier. If you guys don't have any of these supplies, then down in the description below I'm going to leave links to all these supplies just so that you guys can buy them if you want to. So this is I guess you could say mandrel, I'm not sure. So this is what I use to measure the ring size. So you do need this because this is what we're going to be using to make our rings. Again, this is going to be down in the description below. And then some wire. So for the wire for this basic ring, I like to use 26 gauge wire. When you hear the word gauge, that's just basically the size of the wire. So you have 18 gauge, 26 gauge, 20 gauge. I like to use 26 gauge. This is great for detailing, but normally I use 18 gauge for when I make my rings, just because it's a lot thicker. The lower the gauge, then the thicker the wire, and the higher the gauge, the thinner the wire. So this is 26 gauge. If you could see here, my rings, they're very thick, so I use 18 gauge wire. But for this step, you just need 26 gauge wire. So let's begin. So when you get your wire, you're gonna want to cut about 12 or 14 inches. So if you want to get your ruler, you can. Let's measure it out. You're going to want to cut about 14 or 15 inches in length just to be safe, because we are going to be twirling it a lot and wrapping it around things, so you want to have wire, enough wire. I'm just going to get a different colored bead. I'm going to get this mixed clear with green. So what you're going to want to do is get your 6mm bead and put it through the wire. Make sure it's halfway, it's in the middle of the wire. So if you want to do this, you can just split it down like this and just make sure that your bead stays at the end of it. So fold your wire in half and then just bring your bead all the way to the end like this. So now you're going to want to get your ring size. Now when you're creating this kind of ring, you're going to want to work a size up. So if you want your ring size to be a 5, then you should be working at around 6, because as we're working with it, we're going to be tightening the ring. We're going to be wrapping it around a lot, and it's just going to shrink. So I'm going to do a size 6, so I'm going to be working on 7. So here it's marked. Once you buy it, you're gonna see that it's gonna be marked here. So you have like 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's very small. I got this one at Hobby Lobby, but the one I leave down below is one that I got off Amazon, which is a lot better. It's a lot bigger, a lot cheaper too, and I like working with it more. But this was already on my desk, so I just took it. So you're gonna wanna place it over the 7 like this. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a bit. You're gonna be putting it over size 7, so you can see here 6 and then 7. Make sure it's in the middle. So you're gonna grab one of the wires and then wrap it in front of the bead twice like this. 1, 2, and then you're gonna do the same with the other wire, but you're gonna wrap it behind like this. 1, 2. Now you're gonna want to hold on to this really tight, so what I like to do is just like squeeze it as I'm working with it. So don't worry, as you keep doing this, you're gonna get a lot better and faster. I remember when I was first doing this, it took me a while. It just kept slipping from my fingers and it was really annoying. So when you have a tight hold on this, grab one of them. I like to just start off the right, I guess, because I'm just a righty, but you're gonna grab this wire and wrap it around once and then hold it down. Oh, it got loose. Wrap it around once, hold it down. You're gonna grab the other one and wrap it around twice. 1, 2. We're already halfway there, guys. It's very simple. So now you're gonna slide it out. Now it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but you're going to now get this wire and push it through. Now you have to see how it's placed. Hold on. You have 1. You're gonna want to wrap it around like 3 times. 2. And it's better to push through instead of pulling it, because it's just gonna create a tighter coil. And then again, 3. Now I'm going to turn it around. If you guys can see here, let me see if I can zoom you guys in better. Okay, be difficult to, if you guys can see here, I'm not sure if you can see, but you're going to want to push it through. Ooh, you guys can't see. 1, push again, 2, and 3. Now we have all this excess wire, so what you're going to want to do is get your flush cutting pliers and you're going to just want to snip it a bit. Not all the way, because we're going to just tighten the coils. Also, when you guys keep doing this, the more practice you get, then the easier it's going to be for you to just determine how much wire you actually need, so that you don't have to be wasting this much wire, because this already hurt me. I don't like wasting all of this wire, but as time goes on, you know, I've gotten better at determining how much wire I do need, and so now I just waste like this much, you know. So now that we have these little, once you cut it, they're sticking out obviously, so you're gonna want to just wrap it around until it's all like around the coil, around the band, I'm sorry. That's why it's essential for you to have this bent chain nose plier. That way you can just squeeze it and make sure that it goes all the way around, and you can just flatten it out. You really want to be careful because this does really pinch you, the wire. This is where your round nose pliers can be very essential. That way you can just get the wire and just tighten it even more. And then once you got that, and there we go. Now you're going to want to get your mandrel, your ring size stick, and then push it through so that you can shape out the base of the ring. And also, if it's like kind of 5.5, then you can push it all the way up to the size that you wanted. So I was at 6 and it kind of falls in a little below 6, but you can just push it through on both sides just to kind of shape the ring better. And there you have it. You have a basic ring. Hi guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it super exciting to make your first ring. I remember when I made my first ring, I spent 4 hours in the living room just making rings. Like, I had a whole bunch of beads just spread out everywhere, and I was just making rings all night, giving them to people. My mom was sitting with me just telling me,
oh, can you make me this one? Oh, I want this one.
And she was just like trying on rings, and she looked like me by the end of the night, a ring on each finger. But here is the ring that I just made and that I just showed you guys. This is what it looks like with it on. See, it's super cute and super simple. I made mine with sterling silver, but it's just something fun. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or crazy, but it's just fun to do. Just get beads from Walmart and just sit down and just make rings. Like, it's super fun. If you do watch this video and you made your first ring after watching this video, then show it to me. You guys can DM me your photos or your rings. I would love to see it. Remember that I'm leaving down in the description a link to all the supplies that I used in this video, and I'm also leaving the link to my socials, so my Instagram, my Facebook, and my Etsy shop for now, because I am creating a website and I'm super excited about it and I cannot wait. So that is it for this video, you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.